All right, thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Wallace, and I'm Head of Sales for Keysight Technologies. One of the key roles I play as Head of Sales is to make up for overtime during these presentations. So I'm going to go through some of this quite rapidly, but you have heard a lot today already from Ron and Jay and all the solution group presidents about the work we're doing to implement our strategy and to win. And I'm really excited to share with you some of the things that we're doing in Keysight Global Sales, because as Ron mentioned, innovation in this company doesn't stop with the solution groups, right? It extends into our go-to-market strategy and how we engage with thousands of customers each and every year. And for me, what brings that all together and what enables us to bring all of our capabilities as a company to our customers is Keysight Global Sales. By the way, my background, I joined this company in 1985 as an electrical engineer, and I've held a variety of sales and marketing roles ever since. 5 key messages about Keysight Global Sales, beginning with the foundation of deep and trusting customer relationships. You've heard this time and time again today. You heard from Ron, these are built over decades. And oftentimes they're engineer to engineer type of relationships because of the nature of our resources. Number 2, we're a large global organization, and our proven ability to leverage our scale drives a very efficient and low-cost sales channel. Number 3, we are optimizing everything from our organizational structure to our skills, to our incentive compensation to have an industry focus and grow through solutions. Number 4, and this is the big one. Remember this one. We are well on our way on a multi-year journey to double the number of frontline sellers in the organization without increasing cost. Number 5, to make sure all those sellers are kept busy, we're deploying modern digital demand generation capabilities to reach more customers, to increase leads, and to grow our funnel, not only the size, but also the velocity of our funnel. So taking a look at Keysight Global Sales, we're more than 2,700 resources strong worldwide, and over 500 of them are application engineers and solution experts who work with our customers each and every day. And these are folks that are recognized as experts in the industry by the work they do with our customers, with consortia, with education, etc. More recently, we launched a dedicated services sales channel. And to extend our capability and our customer reach even further, we have a global network of more than 650 solution partners and channel resellers that help us manage this balance that Ron mentioned of approximately 75% of our business through direct, 25% indirect. You can see the key stats from last fiscal year, beginning with $3.4 billion in total orders and 7% core order growth rate. That excludes the impact of currency and recent acquisitions. As Ron noted, we do business with tens of thousands of customers in more than 100 countries every single year. And as an example of our operational excellence in Keysight Global Sales, we handle more than 1.7 million customer touches per year through our contact centers. This is through dedicated portals, through chat, through email, through web, through voice. And geographically, we are where our customers are, which give us unique access to decision makers across all the segments we talked about today. I'm going to go through this in 10 seconds. You've heard this over and over again. Satish talked about compressed market windows. That's compelling our customers to invest earlier, much earlier, oftentimes before standards are ratified, which means standard products won't solve their problems alone. They need more complete, more flexible solutions. Operational demands are high, reducing costs, increasing asset utilization, and as Jay touched on with the introduction of PathWave, customers are not focused on just optimizing a little tiny piece of their business, but the entire workflow. Industries are expanding, that's a good thing, but the infusion of new technology that we talked about today, and like Sun Chai mentioned, the intersection of multiple industries, like with automotive and communications, is creating a lot more complexity for our customers. And finally, like all of us, our customers live online, and we have found, and external research supports, that they spend more than 50%, more than half their buying journey online. Thus, the reason we've shifted from traditional to digital marketing. And when they're online, they're accessing data, a lot of it. And they try to use this data to make good buying choices. They're trying to negotiate better price, really, is what they're doing. Thus, the reason we shifted from product sales to value selling and solution selling. So based on all of these trends, we've taken significant steps to transform Keysight Global Marketing. On the left, if you were to look back to the last Investor Day, what you would have seen are great customer relationships, customers who are satisfied and oftentimes loyal. What you would have also seen then and now is we are viewed by them as a trusted advisor. But the growth was insufficient. We weren't organized properly to sell services or grow services. And while we were a leading global channel, we were really tuned for product sales. All right, so what have we done since then? In the last 18 months, we have shifted the entire organization to be solutions focused with the right training, the right skills, the right recruitment to make that happen. We've increased frontline selling capacity, we transformed marketing, we launched a global sales channel for services, and we've integrated the Ixia sales team into Keysight Global Sales to leverage our footprint, right, while maintaining the specialization focus of that team. The accomplishments, 30% increase in frontline sellers. We've more than doubled the number of leads generated last year. We've sustained double-digit growth rate for solutions in 5G and in automotive. And as John talked about, we have captured multi-vendor, multi-million-dollar, multi-year services wins in every region. But the bottom line, the red line at the bottom is all that really matters. And as I said, we've delivered 7% core order growth last fiscal year. But as Ron mentioned, if you look at the progression of those orders and that growth, it's grown every quarter. And in Q4, it was 11% core order growth, right? And what we just announced last week for Q1, it was 16% core order growth rate. So for the last 4 quarters, we're delivering 10% core order growth rate. So it's working. But our work isn't done. 3 key priorities moving forward: growing the number of customers we do business with every month, every quarter, every year. Accelerating solutions growth, we talked about this a lot, by engaging with industry leaders and leveraging that broadly. And finally, expanding services. So again, growing new customers. I've already told you the 2 ways we're doing it. Number 1, doubling the number of frontline sellers without increasing our cost envelope. So how do you do that? Well, we're going to get about halfway there through redeploying people or headcount within the current organization. And then the rest will come from reducing or eliminating costs elsewhere through lean assessments and reinvesting in the front of the organization. But that alone won't be sufficient because we need to have leads and opportunities to follow, thus the shift to digital demand generation. In the last year, we've invested tremendously in increasing the number of social followers, which we have done to the tune of about 400,000. And we use that network and others like it to push great content to create interest and reach new customers. And you can see the results down below. I touched on most of this. The one I didn't mention is the fact that we did business with more than 3,500 new customers last year that helped us to produce 13% order growth in our broad geographic business. And then finally, the graphic on the right just shows us where we are on our journey of doubling the number of frontline sellers without increasing cost. We're about halfway there, and actually we're ahead of schedule because we will reach our goal for this year before the end of the first half. Accelerating growth through solutions, we do this through dedicated global account teams who deploy a standard Keysight engagement approach to harness all of our capabilities, align it to the customer's priorities and time scales, and win. So this is a lot what Satish and Sunchai talked about. But then we use our regional capabilities, our solution centers in the regions, to scale this, to provide local, responsive, sustaining support for solutions to all of our customers, and then again to replicate wins to the long tail of customers. And finally, expanding services. You know, the headline here is we formed and launched a global dedicated sales channel for selling services. We didn't have this before. I went outside the company and hired an experienced VP of sales who's had decades of experience in running services businesses. And we have taken the approximate footprint of the sales organization and focused 2/3 of that on capturing new business. Right? These hunters have the right skills, the right metrics, and the right compensation to find and capture new business. And then the remaining 1/3 is focused on our existing customers' success and implementing a very efficient renewal process. So one quick example of the strategy in action, in this case, a surgical deployment of resources in a high growth area, in this case, California. The situation was a lot of R&D investment. Our challenge was we were fairly constrained because we were focused on our current customers. And the action was a pretty wide restructuring where today 80% of the managers are new or repurposed. We've increased our selling capacity by more than 40%, the number of application engineers by 30%, and in the last 12 months, we've grown the business by more than 50%. So it really works. Whew. Okay, so that's it. Keysight Global Sales is very well positioned to help the company continue to succeed and to be situated to capture all of the waves we talked about today. We're a competitive advantage, we're a low-cost channel, and we are well on our way to doubling the number of frontline sellers without increasing our cost envelope. Got you some time back. Now it's my pleasure to hand the baton to Neil Doherty, Keysight Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Thank you.